the car is Andrew Thompson. They were pretty much inseparable in race number 1 over the 20 minutes. Let's see what happens in race number 2. It's a better start from the ARV6 of Andrew Thompson from the outside of the front row of the grid. So he is going to lead the 23-car pack up towards Ritchie's for the first corner. Tony Lees, I think, might be through to second place there at the expense of race 1 winner William Pratt. Let's just have a quick look and see whether Will was able to hang on to the place or whether the yellow car had snuck its way through. We've got somebody off, I'm afraid, and into the barriers, and I think that's number 22, James Sumner, that has nosed the Morgan frontwards into the barriers and has then clobbered it a little bit backwards as well. Don't think there's too much damage to the car. He might be able to continue, but if not, he should be hopefully out of harm's way in a lap or so. So first corner incident that we've had, and I was absolutely right. The other yellow car of Tony Lees did sneak through into second place at Ritchie's corner, but he's now under pressure for that second place because race 1 winner William Pratt is right with him.
Yeah, William Pratt was never going to let him go. But look at that, already a gap forming up front with that ARV6 beginning to break away. Yeah, but an unfortunate one for James Sumner. He didn't have a great race 1, did he? Oh, look at this, side by side through Hamilton. Again, the number 75. And now they weren't sure why the engine was smoking last time, but it still seemed to be giving the power out. It still seems to be smoking as well as he's coming out of Oggies. Wow, goodness me, Andrew Thompson very much wanting to ensure he's not pipped at the line this time with a comfortable lead. And that's another problem. That's Oliver Pratt that's gone off the road. Then the car's still running, but it's running backwards. That's never ideal. And struggling to get that one going. That's stalled. Oh, goodness me, disaster for him. There's that minty green car as well.
Safety car.
Safety car has been deployed, and no doubt for the backwards stranded car.
And the reason I spotted that was not so much the marshals doing their fantastic job and waving the flags and the lights. It was one of the drivers putting his hand out down the Bentley Straight. You could see straight away a driver seeing it, responding and wanting to let everybody know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first safety car period we've had all weekend?
Funnily enough, I was about to ask you the very same question.
I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's the first safety car period.
Yeah, so just going to show how well behaved the drivers have been. Yes, there's been the odd thrill and spill. There always will be in motor racing, but on the whole, yeah, very well behaved. And I think even the incident for poor old James Sumner there, that is probably the one that's brought out the safety car. That was a spin on his own. It wasn't contact that I could see, but that was a spin on his own. Typical first corner mistake, cold tyres, cold brakes, the car not quite doing what you expected it to do, and you just get caught out.
Fast corner as well, getting through turn 1, so most amount of power that they're able to deploy. With the pack so heavily condensed, it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion, but it's the time, of course, when it's most likely to happen. So the field then down to, very much pit lane speed, whilst the issues are tidied away. Thompson, that wonderful start from second place, that 3.7 litre car, ready to go, but sadly the lead advantage just stripped away from him. But that is the nature of racing, isn't it? You know, the safety car giveth and safety car taketh away. The one thing that I hope we might get at the end of this race is I hope we get a Tony Lees on the podium. And the only reason I say that is because after qualifying this morning, I said I was really surprised that Tony Lees qualified in 9th place. What did he do in race number 1? Went from 9th to 4th in one lap and then couldn't get any higher up. And in this race, he straight away went and moved the car up further positions. Now, the safety car is out there, but I fear that we are now going to see red flags out on circuit. So the race is being stopped to clear up this incident, which is an enormous shame to say the least. We've got through the whole of the weekend without needing a requirement for any safety cars, and thankfully we've not had any race stoppages, but very sadly our last race of the day we are going to have to go red flag, stop the race, clear up the incident and then get some sort of restart. Now, ever looking for positives out of negatives. I'm sure the driver is okay and is out, and indeed is, absolutely. There might be some barrier damage there, that's the problem. The good thing is that we started early, didn't we, after the lunch break. The other good thing is that we have run effectively throughout the course of the afternoon. And therefore, for the Morgan drivers, with the red flag coming out with 16 minutes and 10 seconds of their race remaining, we hopefully have enough time to clear the incident, sort the damage, and still give them all of their race without hitting the curfew at 6:30. Yes, indeed. Again, a huge shout out to the Orange Army, keeping everything running brilliantly well, and big pat on the back as well for all the drivers, because we've had so few incidents that have required this kind of measure to try and tidy up. They've done an excellent job there, as we see Jameson climbing back into his car, trying to get that one back underway under its own automotive power. But yeah, always I follow your lead on this one, Mark, and giving the marshals a huge shout out. The army of volunteers come here to often in freezing, well, certainly freezing cold weather this time, and horrendously inclement weather we've experienced it, as we tend to get here in the UK. And still they come out here to make sure that we get to enjoy these wonderful cars doing what they do best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if you are either here at the circuit or you're watching our live stream and you think, yeah, I'd quite like to be involved in marshalling, then the best way to do it is to sign up to something that's called a Taster Day. They're organised by the BMMC, which is the British Motorsport Marshals Club, for which I am an ambassador. And what you do is you log onto their website, marshals.co.uk, click through to the link that will bring you to a Taster Day, and you can sign up for one of them. And what you do is you sign up for a circuit that's close to you. Look at the dates that are available, look at the circuits that are close to you, sign up for a Taster Day, and your tickets will get sent through the post, or an e-ticket nowadays, of course, will arrive for the date that you've arranged. You'll be met by your mentor for the day, so a highly experienced marshal that in the morning will show you all of the inner workings of a race meeting, because whilst we talk about the marshals out on post, there are loads of roles that you can be involved in as a volunteer marshal. So you might want to be involved in the assembly area. Go and talk to Morris down in the assembly area, our very experienced Snetterton assembly marshal, who gathers all of the cars before they head out onto the circuit. We've got the marshals out on the individual posts, but there's various roles that you can do. You can be an incident marshal dealing with the incident. You can be a flag marshal. When you've got more experience, you can be the post chief, who is the eyes and the ears of the clerk of the course. Of course, we have scrutineers that look at the technical aspects of the cars. We have people in parc fermé that deal with it. We have our pit lane marshals. We have people in timekeeping, race control. All of these different areas are all available to you. So you get that guided tour in the morning by your mentor when you sign up for one of these Taster Days. We had some people on Taster Days yesterday. I brought them into the commentary box to show them what the commentary box looks like. They were about to go and look at the back of one of the rescue units that are registered ambulances, but they also have all of the cutting and extraction equipment should we get a serious incident and need to be careful with the extraction of a driver. All of these different areas, you get to look around in the morning to see what goes on in timekeeping, race control. And then in the afternoon, you get put out on a marshal's post out on the circuit somewhere with an experienced team around you that give you all of the guidance that you need. And in that one day, you get to have a really good look at all of those aspects of it and understand actually whether marshalling is for you or not. And I've got to say, and I'm talking from a position of large experience here, is that great fun, absolutely great fun. It's as close as you can get to competing without the expense of competing. You've got a great bunch of team and friends around you, and you can do as much or as little as you want when it comes to marshalling. You only put yourself down for the dates that you can do, and I've got to say I've met some great friends through marshalling over the years, and yeah, without them we could not go racing. So marshals.co.uk, the place to go to. Sign up for a Taster Day, why not? What have you got to lose?
Absolutely. It looks like they're reforming the original grid, and the time has been reset, so we will get 20 minutes racing. No, has that just been dropped to 15 minutes looking on the TSL timing? Either way, but I'm a little curious then, why are they reforming the original grid if we have a shortened race? That's a strange one for me. Because
at the time the red flag came out, they'd only done probably one single lap, but the red flag goes out, you count back a lap from that, such as the Motorsport UK regulations, and at that point nobody had completed a lap because you go back a lap. It has to be the original grid.
Hence why you've reformed the original grid.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Werrell. So, but you've got to feel a bit for, of course, for James Sumner, and also the car that was running backwards. But again, Andrew Thompson had such an incredible start, and whilst the others were fighting behind him, he was several seconds down the road, and that has now all gone. Another thing to bear in mind, that the fuel tanks in these cars are not very big. So that's another a potential reason why they would have to shorten the race, because these cars, we saw 20-minute races, and that's how much they would tend to fuel for. They haven't come back into the pits to put any fuel in it, as is regulatory. They're not allowed to do things like that. So therefore, they wouldn't actually survive another 20 minutes without a lot of them running out of fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something. I mean, some of them will always add in an element of contingency as well. I don't think their regulations particularly. I think there's a minimum weight limit for some championships, but I'm not sure how they work a minimum weight limit for the Morgan Challenge, because of course it's done on power to weight ratio, and therefore you can't have all the cars in Class A having to weigh X, Y, and Z when one might be a V8 engine car putting out loads of power, and one might be a really light car not putting out quite as much power. So I'm not quite sure that you could really have a minimum weight limit. I'm sure there's something somewhere about weights in the regulations, but I don't have that particular detail with me. So the marshals are busy chatting away. The one thing I have seen is, though, and you can see it at the front of the grid now if you are over the start-finish line or watching on our stream, is that the scrutineers are taking a very good look at the car of William Pratt that sits there on pole position. There's clearly, I'm not saying concern, but they're still trying to understand what that smoke is that's coming out of the car, and they were looking underneath. I could see Mike Heath, one of the scrutineers with the Classic Sports Car Club, no, not Mike Heath, another Mike, looking underneath to try and establish as to was it depositing any fluid whilst it was sitting there, no doubt just ticking over, but he's not been waved off the grid, which suggests that they are satisfied that whatever the problem is with the car, it's not going to cause a problem.
Indeed, and they would have investigated that car after the first race. It was a bit of a question mark as to why William Pratt's car was smoking. He was actually filling his face full of smoke as well, so it wasn't just coming out of the exhaust, it was coming straight out of the engine and straight. I would say filling the car, but it's of course a topless car, so that would be a bit of a pointless statement. But he was getting a face full of smoke, and they couldn't ascertain, well, they weren't sure why when we spoke to them in a winner's circle earlier on. One lap behind the pace car as well when we do get underway, which will hopefully be very, very soon. You see Andrew Thompson and William Pratt almost having a bit of a conversation between the two cars. And the 1 minute to start light has just gone out on our new gantry, so we shall be going very, very shortly as the marshals then ready the field to resume what will be now a 15-minute race.
I'm slightly confused with the back of the grid, if I'm honest, because Greg Parnell in the dark blue and silver number 26 car is behind the red car of Tim Rigsby number 62. Well, if we're back to original grid, he should be 2 places ahead of him on the grid. So I'm not quite sure what's gone on at the back of the grid, if I'm absolutely honest, but that's just me trying to pick them. Yeah, so there's the 62 car going by now. That 26 should be 2 places ahead of him. So something not quite there in that aspect of the grid, but I'm sure they've done exactly as was requested by race control. So off they go on another formation lap, so another rolling start. The clock is not ticking. I did wonder if the clock might tick when they start this formation lap, but it isn't. It is staying as though it is going to be 15 minutes for this restart. Didn't take too long to scoop up the errant car of James Sumner. I think as he'd sort of nosed it into the barrier and then backed it into the barrier, it caused a little bit of damage both to the front and the back end. And I think the way they were playing around with it on some of the images that I saw was maybe it hadn't got full steering lock on there, so the marshals couldn't try and get it out the way. And there's not really a safe place to put it when it's almost right on the inside of the apex and just beyond of Richie's corner. So I think, yeah, right decision by race control. Go safety car, then realise you're still not really going to clear the incident whilst considering the safety of the marshals. You've got a red flag, so right thing to do.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to push a Snetterton car across a live track.
No,
so
no.
Yeah, safety is taken at absolute, it's taken very, very seriously. Even at club level motor racing, you cannot be putting people's lives at risk.
And as we know, I will still mention it because he received a Bark Award. Robert Foote, as a marshal, lost his life last year at Brands Hatch, through an incident that happened directly ahead of him. We have to forever consider the safety of our marshals, because safety, marshals, drivers, everybody is paramount in motorsport.
Yeah, of course, and the safety regulations are taken very seriously. They're enforced to the utmost level, and by and large, everybody accepts what dangers there are in motorsport. It always says on the ticket, motorsport is dangerous, but again, it further bolsters the commitment that our Orange Army give us. Yeah,
absolutely. So rolling lap is underway. The car's just heading up towards the exit of Oggies at the moment. Lights are on the safety car. When the safety car gets the call from race control, the lights will be extinguished. That is only when the safety car observer is happy that the cars are in the correct order and lined up appropriately, and race control are confirming that everything is ready for the start of the race. Because what we see as the safety car is that 2 people are always in the safety car. If you're not familiar, again, one is the safety car driver. Safety car driver, his job to drive the safety car. The safety car observer, he is in communication with race control. He is liaising with race control and the clerk of the course in there, and he will be the one that will inform the safety car driver as to what he needs to do. So it's, we're good to go, lights off. Safety car driver will flick the lights off, or the observer will do. Go faster, go slower. Whatever communication comes from race control always goes to the passenger seat of the safety car, and that's relayed to the safety car driver, who is usually a Motorsport UK licensed competitor as well. So that's just a bit of information if you're not quite familiar with how the actual communication system works between race control and safety car. So nice and neat and tidy are the Morgans. They will pack things up here and head in a month's time to Cadwell Park, where they will be joining the MG Car Club there at Cadwell Park. They're back with the Classic Sports Car Club racing with us in the Spa Summer Classic race meeting, which takes place over 4 days in June, 3 days in June rather, the 24th, the 25th and the 26th of June. Then they're back to the UK at Donington Park in early July for some more races. The Bentley Drivers Club will be providing a guest slot for them at Silverstone on the 13th of August, and then their final 2 race meetings see them both at Alton Park, another one of the circuits as part of the MSV group, and now back here with Snetterton as their final round on the 24th of September. So Snetterton is bookending the championship season for the Morgan Motor Company Challenge. So let's have another go at it. Hopefully the red lights are on now for the last time today, and we are going to see as to whether William Pratt can hang on to the lead of the race this time, or whether Andrew Thompson might get the jump on him again, as he did in the first attempt at this one. So here we go. Watch out for Tony Lees in the yellow car. Got a really good start last time. It's another good start from Andrew Thompson from the outside of the front row of the grid. Again, the ARV6 3.7 litre Moggy is going to lead the pack up towards Ritchie's for the first time. It is Will Pratt that's there in second place, Tom Andrew in third place, and Tony Lees, who had snuck through into the podium places last time through, couldn't quite propel the yellow Peril, the 3.9 litre +8, up into third position, so he remains in the 4th place that he was at the beginning of the race.
Everyone survived the first lap this time. I always smile when you say when you call them Moggies. I always think of Morris Minors when I hear that phrase used in that context. But yeah, great scrapping going on throughout the field, everybody behaving themselves as we see them work their way through the lap. Then it was another stunning start from Andrew Thompson, managed again wrestle the lead from, oh wow, lots of tire squeal, and that's why that's William Pratt. Our pole sitter is round again. The tail end of that car just not behaving itself. Is it still dropping some kind of fluid onto its own wheels? I mean, again, you would hope that they've investigated the car. It certainly was able to back up a little bit. Hopefully he was able to get out of the way, otherwise we may see another stoppage. Yeah, let's hope that he can fire that car up and get it pointing in the right direction. Indeed he has done, so he gets going again now, William Pratt, but what he has done is drop to the very tail end of the field, and as ever looking for positives out of negatives, such as what I always try and do. We're going to now see a fantastic recovery drive, I'm sure, from William Pratt. How high can he get? What do you think? I'm going to go for 6th. Oh, you're more optimistic than me. I'm going to go 10th.
All right, okay. So we'll wait and see. Of course, it is a shortened race, so it now gives him less time to play catch-up.
That's exactly why I was thinking it wasn't going to be too far in the top 10.
I'd forgotten that.
Your bets are locked in. You may not now change your mind.
Damn. Okay. So let's see. Is there a tap out? Can we tap out early? So let's wait and see as to what we might be able to do on this one. But yeah, another fantastic start from Andrew Thompson, who is looking to try and uphold the lead of the race. Of course, that spin for William Pratt, who is now in the process of trying to pick his way through the order, does mean that he's going to be Tom Andrew in the spearmint coloured car that's there in second place, albeit a long way adrift of the race leader, and Tony Lees is there in third place at the wheel of the thundering great big yellow Morgan +8. As for William Pratt, yeah, picking his way through the order, he's just heading up towards the braking area for Murray's now, and the next car that he's going to want to deal with is going to be Tim Grigsby's car by the look of things, the number 62 car, which he should fairly easily coast his way through and past. And as he comes over the start-finish line, where is he at the end of that lap? He is in 16th position.
Yeah, a good start to the recovery drive, but a long way to go. But one of your wishes is looking good is the number 87, of course, Tony Lees in the beautifully growling car, shaking the commentary box as he came past in that 3.9 litre car. Now up into third position. Andrew Thompson doing what he wanted to continue doing at the start of the race first time round. Now leads by 5 seconds over the number 77, Tom Andrew. But again, because of the shortened race, of course, everyone looking for position, and there goes William Pratt inside line, and Agostini continuing to work his way through the field. I'm now getting very nervous of my original prediction, but we stuck with it.
We did have a couple of Pratts briefly there, didn't we? Because we had William going past Father Oliver at that point of the race. So He's still continuing his progress. He's next coming up to try and work his way past Brent Sindikum. I think it will be before too much longer. There's another good little squabble going on as well for 5th and 6th place, and that is former champion, number 69, Tony Hurst, coming under enormous pressure from Tim Parsons at the wheel of the Primrose-coloured cars. The two of those just making their way down the straight. So the +4, the 2 litre of Tony Hurst, under pressure from the similar car, but the one without the roof, in the hands of Tim Parsons. So down to the bottom of the Bentley Straight goes the actor, Tony Hurst, under pressure from Tim Parsons. Other cars queuing up behind, which will include, I think, the number 46 car, which leaps over the curbs. That is going to be another car that's looking to try and make progress up through the order, of course. Philip Thomas from the back of the grid.
Yeah, and they're making their way through the bottom hole now, and still looking to try and get past Tony Hurst, who looks a bit of a cork in the bottle, judging by that particular line. But it's difficult to tell. You know, as we've said throughout the weekend, some cars have strengths in different areas. But there's a familiar sight. There is number 75 just carving his way through the field. Just absolutely unstoppable force. Oh, me of little faith, I think I'm going to add at this particular point as everybody comes screaming over the line. And there we go, the number 75 just dispatching of anybody that comes anywhere near him. Where is he up to now? 12th, gaining another 4 on this position. Yes, I'm glad I'm not putting any money on that one, because I don't think I would have won with my original bet of 10th position.
I was nearly going to go for a top 3, but I even applied a bit of caution and went top 6. But yeah, the next of the cars, that the number 75 car of race 1, William Pratt, is going to need to scoop his way through and past. It's going to be Peter Cole. That's the yellow and silver winged car, which he easily picks off on the exit of Wilson. Up towards the next corner, it's going to be Tom Richards that is next of those that he's going to see as his target. And Tom Richards is in this great little squabble, which includes the number 78 car in there as well, which is going to be Steve Lockett. So Will Pratt eases his way past both of those. Also, Tim Parsons taking the opportunities to try and sneak through. Lots and lots of locked brakes. Finally decided that he almost mucked that up.
Yeah, and you notice that Will Pratt actually went very wide at Agostini intentionally. He would have heard the task wheel and took the sensible line to go very wide to avoid any kind of impact. My initial thought was that going to be a repeat of the Bailey accident against Dean Halsey earlier on? But fortunately, no discarded bits of car anywhere. A bit of tyre smoke coming from number 75 as he goes through Williams onto the Bentley Straight, and just continuing to sap cars. It's an absolutely unstoppable force.
Yeah, through it past Brett Sindikum, who is the reigning champion, of course, having claimed the championship back in 2021. Next of the cars then is going to be Tim Parsons, I think, isn't it? The next of the cars he's going to want to try and squeeze his way through. So that's the almost primrose-coloured car of Tim Parsons that is the next that's going to get picked off by William Pratt. I did say we were on for a great recovery drive from him. Well, he must have been listening to me, because absolutely he's just settled back in again and he's trying to, as quickly and as effortlessly as he can, thread his way through the ardour. Tim Parsons is the next he wants to pick off, and then it will be Tony Hurst, won't it, who is another former champion, as I mentioned earlier on, but he hasn't quite as yet managed to get past the primrose-coloured car of Tim Parsons. Over the start-finish line have gone the lead too. Andrew Thompson leads by 5 seconds from Tom Andrew, and we've got not a bad little fight going on for third now, have we, which is Tony Lees fighting away with John Milbank, number 87 and number 15.
Yeah, John Milbank's been making a decent amount of progress on the back of that number 87 car as we continue to look at the number 75, now up into 7th position. Yep, I've lost. Assuming that car doesn't encounter trouble. There is the 87 and 15 as we were just talking about. So John Milbank has been making his way very, very subtly towards the tail end of that growling number 87. There is Tony Lees, and again, John Milbank's had that car, as we said, from the 70s, 1976, if memory serves. He's had that car for. He knows how to wrestle it around. He's got the 2-litre Z-Tech engine in that car. So again, whilst it's a smaller engine, this is where, certainly in this section, is where John Milbank is going to really be able to close into the tail end of the 3.9 litre plus 8. Of course, Tony Lee should. Oh, he's gone a little bit deep going through Hamilton, but not enough room for John Milbank to quite get alongside, although he's not. Oh, and there's a familiar face. And number 75. Just, don't mind me, gentlemen. You carry on with your own fight. I'm just going to sneak through the pair of you. I think your prediction of the top three is not actually looking too unrealistic.
It's there, isn't it, already? He's up into third place now. I was nearly going to say top three, and I thought, no, that's too ambitious. We'll go for top six. But no, he's in third place. So, as I expected Will Pratt to do, he has carved his way through the order and has eased his way, rather, into second position. Didn't take really much opportunity, did it? Because he passed John Milbank, and Tony Lees, I think, saw him coming and thought, you can't put off the inevitable, can you? So just let them breeze their way through. The one good thing is that there's still a great little fight that's going on. There's an enormous train of cars just threading its way round through the bomb hole and up towards Coram now, which is being, you could argue, headed by Tony Lees in the yellow car, but he's sort of escaped the rest of them a little bit, actually. So it's probably more so the number 15 car, isn't it? John Milbank, who's the cork in the bottle, because he's got another car that's come off the back of the grid, Phil Thomas from behind him. We can't forget that. The number 46 car, the blue car with the two white stripes down the centre, the +4 baby doll, didn't finish the first race, so had to start at the back.
And making the way through, you've got side-by-sides again, heading down towards turn one. Who's going to win out on that one? There you can see on the stream. That's Milbank on the outside line. He's been demoted a position there from Tony Hurst in the 69 car, and he is immediately under pressure. There is the 46 of that is Phil Thomas. That is continuing. There just still so many cars that are arguing for position, only 5 minutes to go. So again, they know it's a shortened race. They have a 20-minute race anyway, so it's always going to be flat out, but he puts a bit more pressure on them to recover any lost ground.
William Pratt, who is now in third position, has got 30 seconds to make up if he wants to gain another place. So I think his job is done, isn't it, at that place? Tony Lees, however, in fourth position, has still got plenty of work to do as he rounds Agostini for the fifth time, because he has got the car of Philip Thomas right behind him. Can Philip Thomas do anything? He's going to try, you know. They're pretty much together coming out of Hamilton, but it's still just the yellow +8 of Tony Lees that's hanging on to the place. Now Philip Thomas from attack is having to turn to defence because he's got the green car of John Milbank trying to go all the way around the outside at Oggies. That's not going to work, John. Surely the key to it all is get a good drive off Williams. Good drive off this final right-hand corner all the way down the Bentley Straight is absolutely key. And the other thing we need to try and keep an eye on as well is some of the class battles going on, in particular 8th, 9th and 10th, because number 1, the reigning champion, Brett Syndicum, leads class 3 at the moment, but right behind him is the number 45 car, Tim Parsons, who's second in the class. So watch out for that one. They're having a great battle for the lead of the class.
Oh, that's getting a bit scruffy coming into Brundle, and the number 46 car, Phil Thomas, had to take to the grass, and that's is that Brett Syndicum that's gone through? Yep. Yes, it is. So, you know, going on, you know, attack to defence and then grass cutting, and then 69 Tony Hurst right behind him as well. God, it's difficult to look away from this particular pack, isn't it?
What's it? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 8 or 9 cars?
It's got to be 8 at least, isn't
all
it?
Absolutely together. So it's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and I think it's 12th,
it's
isn't it?
9 cars in that
so
conga line.
All the way back to, back to 12th position, the number 36 car that's at the tail end of the train, which is Tom Richards. So fantastic stuff. They might all be in different classes because they've got all different power to weight ratios, but on the whole, they're all evenly matched, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it's punch and counter punch, isn't it? Whilst it looks like there's a bit of a cork in the bottle effect, they're still having to fight very, very hard. They're still driving at like 99.8%. I don't think anybody is leaving anything particularly on the table. You're not seeing mad lunge after lunge, are you? So, which would tend to be the indication that someone is in a position where they shouldn't be. But Tony Lees, he's still having to work very, very hard. I would imagine Tony Lees has given up on the top 3 and just thought, right, I need to hang on to this as best I can.
I think you're right, yeah, and I don't think mad lunges and Morgan racing really are ever been used in the same sentence. I've been covering these for sort of 23 years on and off, and I don't think I've ever seen a single lunge. They are very, very well-behaved drivers and races, and have been at season after season after season after season, because, you know, it's a fantastic car. It's a great race series. It's not just about what happens on track. It's a nice social side to the Morgan Motor Company Challenge as well, and that's, you know, a fundamental ethos of why the championship was set up, just for people that own these cars that want to race them with like-minded people.
Yeah, and look at the results of it. You've got, as we said, so many different variations of the Morgan very different power to weight ratios, different engine sizes, and they're all putting on an absolutely fantastic display.
If it's got the right badge on the front and four wheels, you can race it in the challenge.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
So Tony Lee's under pressure. John Milbank looking to see whether he might be able to thread his way through as they go down in towards Brundle and Nelson. Wasn't quite close enough. Brett Sindercombe is there, the number 46 car of Philip Thomas, who made good progress in the early stages. Now seems to have sort of faltered a little bit. He's plateaued out at 7th place and isn't getting further up the order from that, and is running out of time in which to do so, because the race leaders are already over the start-finish line and are surely now likely to be onto their final lap of the race. We haven't seen much of them if you're watching the live stream. Andrew Thompson and Tom Andrew are about 5 seconds apart from each other, but are 30 seconds up the road from Oliver Pratt. Oh, Tony Hurst almost got taken out there by the number 78 car, which loses control on the exit of Murray's. Lots of arm twirling to try and get Steve Lockett's car pointing in the right direction. Morgan's were never designed for rallycross, but Steve Lockett was all over the grass there on the exit of Murray's, and yeah, finally got the car under his spell. It was that was almost, you could argue, a lunge there, wasn't it, from Steve Lockett, but thankfully Tony Hurst saw him coming and avoided any contact, and Steve Lockett is now a driver that's dropped down through the order as a result of that. Our race leader, though, which is Andrew Thompson, is working his way along the Bentley Straight for what will be the final time of asking. It might have taken a couple of opportunities to get this race underway, but Andrew Thompson was quick when the lights went out on both occasions and is now heading towards victory, I'm sure just number 1 of what's going to be a busy 2020 motorsport season for him in the Morgan Challenge, which will be back here at Snetterton on the 24th of September for their final 2 races. Clock will tick to 0 literally as he comes round through Coram for the final time. So the checkered flag is being readied for the last time today. Andrew Thompson lost out on victory earlier on today to the tune of 26 thousandths of a second, and that was done on the charge to the line. He hasn't got to worry about any such charge to the line this time through, because he is sufficiently far up the road to claim the final win of the weekend here at Snetterton. Andrew Thompson claims the win in the Morgan Challenge and is our last winner of the weekend. It is Tom Andrew that comes through to finish in 2nd position, and William Pratt, it'd be worth a word with him, won't it, as to exactly what happened when he spun the car, but what a recovery drive it was for him. He is scheduled to come through and finish in 3rd position. We've still got this other great fight going on down towards the bottom of the Bentley Straight, which is for 4th position. That is certainly not resolved as yet, because Tony Lees is still having to just make sure he drives as hard as he can. He's still got John Milbank, number 15, the green car, not that far behind him. John Milbank has got the reigning champion, Brett Sindercombe, not too far away as well. And then it will be Philip Thomas and Tony Hurst and Peter Cole and Tim Parsons and the number 36 car of Tom Richards that are all in that mix as well. So that's been a race-long battle. It has sort of just spread out a little bit over the last lap or so, but it's been a solid performance from all of those and good fun. And even now, Tony Hurst is still certainly not assured 8th place as he heads in towards Murray's for the final time, because say he's got a raft of cars queuing up behind him. So Will Pratt comes through to finish in 3rd place. Tony Lees is indeed now through in 4th place. John Milbank, Brett Sindercombe complete the top 6. It's Philip Thomas in 7th place. It is going to be the car of Tony Hurst in 8th place, ahead of Peter Cole and Tim Parsons, who will wrap up the top 10. And I think that top 10 will also include, I think, winners from each one of our classes. Yeah, top 8 include all of the class winners by the look of things. So the sun has been shining brightly here at Snetterton all weekend. We have had an amazing weekend of racing, and that is the conclusion to our on-track activity here at Snetterton with the Morgan Motor Company Challenge. The last few cars to take the checkered flag, and then we should be able to confirm our results with you for what was an intriguing race, slightly shortened race, a 15-minute race rather than the scheduled 20 for the Morgan Motor Company Challenge, but that was because of the red flag that occurred as a result of the unfortunate error and the damage for James Sumner. Confirmation of the results then: Andrew Thompson claims the Andrew Thompson claims the win, with Tom Andrew in 2nd place, and William Pratt, race 1 winner, recovered after the spin and finishing in last place almost when he got going again to finish in 3rd place and claims the win, the class win that is. 4th place goes the way of Tony Lees, with John Milbank in 5th place, and Brett Sindercombe, the reigning champion, takes a class win in 6th position. From the back of the grid, Phil Thomas finishes in 7th place, ahead of Tony Hurst, who takes his class win in 8th position. Peter Cole and Tim Parsons wrap up the top 10. Just outside of the top 10, it was the number 36 car of Tom Richards that finished in 11th position. Despite the rally crossing moment, Steve Lockett came through to finish in 12th place, ahead of Peter St Clair Tisdale, who finished in 13th place, and Oliver Pratt was 14th. Greg Parnell was 15th, ahead of James Sherry, who finished in 16th place. 17th was John Richards, and then the last couple of finishers was Tony Kilby, then followed by Richard Fern, and the number 62 car of Tim Grigsby. Down one lap, and I think the last of the finishers was the number 7 car in the end of Phil Merson. So that is our final set of results of the day from the Morgan Motor Company Challenge, and I think in a few moments, for the final time today, I'll be handing you down to Chris Buxton for a word with the driver. So that's it from myself, Mark Werrell. Let's hand you downstairs for the final time today to Chris Buxton.
Here in Winner's Circle for the final time of this weekend. What an amazing performance from the number 66. That is, of course, Andrew Thompson, having a good old chat with Tom Andrew. Yes, well, we meet again, good sir.
Yeah, it's nice to be back here and first place for a change by a significant margin. I'm not sure exactly what happened behind me, but I could see the guys were relatively close, and then all of a sudden there was a big gap. So I thought, well, it's now time to behave like the stabbed rat. You just go, let them sort themselves out, and fortunately I managed to hold the gap, so it's good. Nice clear track.
So, I mean, you had a storming start in the first version of the start, and then were you worried you couldn't do it again, or were you confident that you could repeat the first time round?
I was fairly worried that I wouldn't be able to do it again, because I think I got the jump on Will, and I thought he's not going to let that happen twice. But I thought I'm going to do exactly what I did last time and see what happens, and it worked again. So I guess in the gearing that the two cars have, at the point the lights go out, it's just on the sweet spot for my car, and it's away. So good.
What a stunning weekend it's been for you. 2 podiums, and the top one belongs to you. Thank you very much for your time, Andrew Thompson, and best of luck for the remainder of the season. Right, what a stunning car we have here. It's Tom Andrew in the 77 for the Mint M Sport car. Mr. Andrew, a brightly coloured and a storming performance in the second race. You must be pretty happy with that.
I am, yeah, very happy, because we only got the car a couple of months ago.
Wow.
It's only our fourth time out in it today, so it's all been track days up until now. So I believe I got fastest lap as well, which is really I'm really happy about. Is that right?
Not according to that. I mean, close, very close.
False information.
But either way, it was such a storming performance.
Yeah,
that
lost a lot of time when the spin happened, but just trying to catch Andrew there. But yeah, trying my best next time.
So with the restart any worry for you, or were you just concentrating on what you needed to do?
I was actually quite happy with it, because my first start was not so great. So yeah, I was happy for the restart, and yeah, made amends for the first hash up.
Best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Cheers. A great result then for the number 77, Tom Andrew. But we have got to have a word with the driver of the number 75, William Pratt, who we definitely enjoyed a chat with first time round. And what's in it? Wow, words are losing me under how on earth you managed to claw back. I mean, you were destroying the field for a while.
Where did I come in the end?
Third.
I came third?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was really unfortunate in the first place to spin off like that. I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure it was just me going a bit too fast around the corner. But yeah, I was really upset. I don't know if I was right at the back, but I also stalled my car trying to get it back on, so that took up a bit more time getting going. But yeah, not the best, but I'm pretty happy I got third. That's surprising. I didn't know I had that, so I'm pretty happy.
And fastest lap does indeed belong to you, which is well, again, with how you were just carving through the field, it wasn't really a surprise. But yeah, 2 podiums for 2, and you know, considering, like you said, that particular spin that you had, did the restart cause any issues for you?
I think if anything it helped, because I was in second when the restart happened, and then I started on pole again after the restart. So I don't know how that happened. I guess it was just because it would only just started, so I was a bit confused. But then you could say if there wasn't a restart, maybe I wouldn't have spun out. But I think that's a bit hopeful thinking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but oh well, I'm pretty happy with how it went. So.
And very much you should be. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much to William Pratt. And that is it for this meeting then, as the sun sets here in Snetterton. the first round of the Classic Sports Car round. Try that sentence again. First round of the Classic Sports Car Club season draws to a close. We will return in Thruxton in a couple of weeks' time to do it all over again. And we're very much looking forward to having you along to enjoy the ride with us. Until then, thank you very much and goodbye.